good afternoon, beautiful soul. How are you today? Where are you? If this is the first time you've just stumbled across one of my lives, then say hello, say where you're from, and let's have a chat. So this is day 4 of 7 days to an even greater, happier, healthier version of you. Now, some of you may have noticed, you may not because you've been busy. I'm a few days late because my mood and energy took a drop, and I didn't feel I had the energy to bring to the live. And that ties into something I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is the lies that we tell ourselves. But today, so we're on day 4. So the person who you become as you achieve your goals or as you work towards your goals is even more important than actually achieving the goal itself. Now, those people in life who are the happiest and most fulfilled tend to have goals. And it doesn't have to be anything massive, it doesn't have to be like train for a marathon or a triathlon or the Ironman or whatever. Just having little kind of small goals, things to aim for, can actually boost your happiness and well-being, as well as achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Because as spiritual beings, we are everything in nature is either growing or it's dying. And most of us, to be fair, to be honest, to be blunt, most of us are fucking sleepwalking through life. Simple as that. Most of us are sleepwalking through life. We're going through life on autopilot, back when things were kind of normal, getting up, having breakfast, going to work, coming home, having dinner, sat in front of the telly, go to sleep, and do the same thing every single day. And it's no wonder so many people are unhappy and unfulfilled. So having a goal, no matter what it is, whether it's to become healthier, whether it's to learn a new skill, can help boost you on every level, on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, as well as improve your life. Now, as a yoga teacher, fitness instructor, Pilates instructor, one of the best compliments I ever heard about myself, and I heard about it secondhand, was that Donna gets you doing things you never thought you could do. And that just I love that. I love that, which is why my nickname is That Donna, because I've been, I've had people say to me, oh, you're that Donna, right? You're that Donna. And I love that. I get people doing things they never thought they could do. And in class, loads of times we've been going through a particular pose or whatever, and hey, Sir Tyron, how are you today? So loads of times I've been in class and we'll be doing a particularly challenging pose or something, and I'll have students, they'll be like, I can't do that. And I'm just like, let's just go through it. Let's go step by step. I don't push people, but I encourage them. And the look on their face when they achieve it, even if they only hold a pose for 2 seconds, even if it's not perfect, but the look on their face when they achieve it, and that's what makes my heart all warm and fuzzy. I get that kind of feeling like a mother gets when their child learns to walk or learns to ride their bike, because no matter how old we are or young we are, there's still that little child within us that loves praise, that loves doing things they didn't think they could do. And the thing is, every time you do something you didn't think you could do, it builds your confidence muscle. Because let's face it, a lot of the times we don't do things, or we don't even set goals or chase our dreams, is because we've already told ourselves that we won't achieve it. We've already told ourselves there's no point, it's not going to happen, we're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And so we don't even try, or we don't give it our best. And so that when it doesn't work, we can say, see, I told you all along, I know it would fail, so there's no point. But here's the thing, we tell ourselves lies a lot. Here's a little story, okay? I'll try and keep it brief. For quite a few years, I taught Les Mills programs. For those of you who don't know, Les Mills programs are pre-choreographed classes. Like I used to do body balance and CX works. Body balance is like a combination of yoga, Pilates, that kind of thing. So it's pre-choreographed. It's set to modern music, so we had to learn the tracks, so we had to learn the choreography. And so it was like 8-9 classes we had to learn. And I always used to say that it took me a couple of months to learn the 8 classes. And whenever a new launch came out, because we had a new one every 3 months, at the gym, we'd have a launch night to kind of showcase it to all the members. But we only had 2 weeks to learn the whole choreography. And for a couple of years, I said no. Whenever they asked me if I want to be part of the launch night, I'd say no. I'd say, I can't learn it in 2 weeks. I can't do it. Can't do it. And it suddenly occurred to me one day, I thought, hang on a minute. I've been telling myself all this time that I can't learn the choreography in 2 weeks. And I haven't. So by that logic, if I tell myself I can, then I should be able to do it, because I've been telling myself I couldn't. So if I tell myself I can, and you know what? Because I told myself I could, I put more effort into it. I was listening to the music every day, so I'd be out in the middle of the horse field stopping every now and again, going like da, 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 da. And to cut a long story short, I learned an hour's choreography in 2 weeks. I'd been telling myself for 2 years I couldn't do it. Now you might think, yeah, but you tried harder. But the thing is, I didn't try really hard before. When I look back at it, being honest, I didn't really try. I didn't try because I'd already decided I couldn't do it. So why bother trying? Is this making sense? Is the light bulbs going off? I realized that I wasn't able to learn the choreography in 2 weeks because I'd already convinced myself I couldn't. So I didn't try as hard as I could. As soon as I decided to flip the script and to tell myself that I could do it, I then put more effort in, which I could have done originally, and I was able to do it. But that's the thing, we don't try properly. We don't give it our best shot because we've already convinced ourselves there's no point. And so we, us humans, like to be congruent. We like to be kind of authentic. We like to live up to what we say. So if we say we can't do something, we like to be able to then say, well, see, I tried and I failed. I knew I couldn't do it. I've proved myself right. But here's the thing, because you were telling yourself you couldn't do it, you then wanted to prove yourself that you were right. And so you fail. But when you start to flip the script and start to tell yourself you can do something, you actually take more action. You actually put more effort in, because in the back of your mind, you're telling yourself, well, I can do this and I will, rather than, well, I can't, so I'm not going to bother. So hopefully that is going to set some light bulbs off. And I want you to start noticing as well how often you lie to yourself, how often you say things that you don't want to be true. Just a simple example. Just recently, I've noticed, and I'm sure most people like this, because I haven't got my normal structure that I had pre-COVID, I've had to be very self-disciplined. And there are loads of times when I've told myself, oh, I can't be bothered. I just really can't be bothered today. Oh, I can't bother. I'll do that tomorrow. I can't be bothered. And I noticed it was becoming a habit to say, I can't be bothered. And because I know that what I say, what we say becomes our reality, I knew that I had to turn that around. I had to start or stop saying that I can't be bothered. I had to start saying I can be bothered, because as I say, what we say on a regular basis becomes our reality. And when you stop to really notice, you'll become aware of the amount of times that you lie to yourself. Like, oh, I can eat that bit of chocolate, it's fine. I'll only have a small piece. I won't eat the whole lot, or I'll do that later, or I'm just doing this. And just as a side note, whenever you say, I'll just do this, that's normally a procrastination technique. And there's a fear somewhere that you're putting off the thing that you're supposed to be doing because you're just going to do X, Y, Z. So one of my resolutions is speak only that which I want to be true. So if I'm starting to feel like I can't be bothered, I won't say that. I'll start telling myself I can be bothered. I am looking forward to doing this. I am excited about this. I can achieve this. Because, as I say, your body, your brain follows your instructions. So if you're telling yourself you can't, your brain, the universe, life will say, okay, fair enough, you can't. I won't do it for you. The thing is, every time we do something we didn't think we could do, we build our kind of confidence muscle. We build our, it's like building muscle strength. You know, if you want to build your muscles, it's no good just doing one bicep curl. You have to do, you maybe do one day, the next day you do 2, next day you do 3, next day you do 6, next day you do 12. So doing something every day that you didn't think you could do, and catching yourself when you start to lie, when you start to say, oh, I can't be bothered, or I can't do XYZ, or I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Because I tell you now, most of the time, 99% of the time, you say things like that, it's a lie. You're just telling yourself something. So try telling yourself the opposite. Speak only that which you want to be truth. If you want to do something, start saying to yourself, I can do this, or I can't do it yet, but I'm working towards it. The thing is, small steps equal big results. One of the reasons a lot of us give up on our goals or our resolutions in particular is because we want it all now. And I've said this before, every year when I was working in the gym, every year in January, the first 3 weeks, you'd get a whole load of new people and they'd come to every class. You know, they'd be there 7 days a week when they haven't exercised for like 10 years previously. And of course, at the end of the second week, they were knackered. And so they gave up because, for one, they burnt themselves out, and two, they weren't seeing instant results. So that's why I say, have like a main intention, your main aim, your main dream, if you like. Make it a win-win situation. So I use the losing weight example. Instead of saying, I want to lose half a stone, say to yourself, I want to feel healthier and confident. I want to fit into my jeans with ease. That way, if you make all the changes and you get fitter and you feel slimmer, even if you haven't lost an ounce of weight, you've achieved your aim. So you can have a big dream, you can have a big goal, then break it down into tiny steps, tiny little steps. I'm going to say small steps, big results. One of my other coaches talks about 1% changes. And 1% doesn't seem a lot, but if you imagine a plane taking off, say a plane's taking off from England, it's supposed to be going to Paris. If its dial thingy, can't think of the word, is 1% out, the first couple of miles is not too bad, but after a while it ends up in completely the wrong country. And that works in kind of reverse. If you make a 1% change each day, that grows over time. So if you wanted to get healthier, you could start small by cutting out the foods that you know your body doesn't like or your brain likes, your taste bud likes, but your body doesn't like chocolate, cakes, those kind of things. Then you can maybe start going for a walk every day, start doing jumping jacks while the kettle is boiling, doing small steps. If you've got a business that you want to grow, do like a training video each day, learn something new each day, have those small steps. And the most important thing is celebrate all your wins. Celebrate, even if you do something and it doesn't quite work out the way you hoped, celebrate the fact that you did it. Celebrate the fact that you actually got off your ass and did the thing. Like me personally, I'm really disorganized. It's one of my bane of my soon-to-be ex-husband's life. I used to leave everything to the last minute and then get stressed because I'd forgotten stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I've had to learn to be more organized. So I try and sit down every night and write down my timetable for the next day. And I've learned that I function so much better when I've got a goal and I know what I'm doing and this, that, and the other. So I've had to learn to be more organized. So I praise myself. And the days that I forget, I don't berate myself. I don't beat myself up. So, or a day, if I've planned everything out and it goes to shit, I don't beat myself up. I praise myself for all the wins. Because just like children, adults thrive on praise, whether it comes from ourself or from an outside source. Praise actually causes a shot of dopamine in our brains. It's a bit like the reason some people get addicted to social media, because every time you see someone's liked your post or left a positive comment, your brain produces a shot of dopamine, one of the feel-good hormones. And it's the same as if someone else is giving you praise, you feel good. So you can do it to yourself. Learn to praise yourself. So you've set your intention. You've set your positive intention with a win-win, not a win-lose. That was day one. You've written your to-don't list, things you're not going to do, like not comparing yourself with others, not beating yourself up if you don't get stuff done that day, all that kind of thing. You visualize how you want your life to be. You visualize your perfect life, day 2. You've decided who you need to become. So what habits and characteristics do you need to embody, like with me, being more organized and planning in advance. You've also, day 3 was being prepared to fail. And I use the word fail. That wasn't, I don't like the word fail. Basically, that means understanding that things very rarely run smoothly. Things very rarely run in a straight line. The road between where you are and where you want to go very rarely just runs like that. It tends to kind of go all the way like that. And once you understand that, once you are kind of prepared, that you may have days when things don't go right. You'll have days when you can't be bothered. You'll have days where you feel like you've taken a backward step, although I prefer to call it a side step or a pause. If you're trying to get healthier, you'll have days when you go, fuck it, and eat a box of chocolates. But if you're prepared for that, that that's not a fail. That's just a misstep, a sidestep, just a gap in proceedings. You talk to anyone who's achieved their goals, who's achieved their dreams, and they will have plenty of bumps along the way. They'll have had plenty of fuck-ups, made plenty of mistakes. But the main difference between people who do achieve their goals, who do achieve their dreams, is that they are prepared to learn from their mistakes rather than give up falling at the first hurdle. And that's what it is. Just have that attitude that things maybe won't happen straight away. They're not maybe going to happen overnight, which is another reason why having small steps is a good idea, because then you feel like you've achieved something. It's like, I want to be here, but when I get here, I'll celebrate. 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 And think of the person you will be, how proud of yourself you'll be when you get there. So notice how you speak to yourself. Notice how often you lie to yourself by telling yourself you can't do X, Y, Z, by telling yourself you're not clever enough, you're not attractive enough, you're too old, you're too whatever. Notice when you're speaking to yourself like that, and speak only that which you wish to be true. And tell yourself, I can. And you can even just start off by setting yourself a small goal. As I say, having goals, having things to aim for, helps us feel more fulfilled in life. I've got a little jar. I've started something this year. I've got a little jar. In it, I put 55 random things to do. Like maybe go ice skating, kayak down the river, buy myself some flowers, give flowers to a stranger, find a different route to walk. And I'm picking one out each week to do something just totally random, totally different. I mean, it's a bit difficult because we don't know what's happening this year, but us humans have a need for excitement in our lives, for something different. Because otherwise, as I said, we're just going through life, we're sleepwalking through life on autopilot, and each day is just a repeat of the last. And then we're wondering why we're miserable. So you can do whatever you set out to achieve, whatever you want to achieve. And if you have or have had a burning dream or desire in your heart, then I'll be doing something tonight that will help you start the 5-day program that I should have started last week, but as I say, things don't always work out. Life gets in the way because I'm only human. So enjoy the rest of your day, beautiful soul, and I shall speak to you very soon. Mwah.